Oh, it's called the third act.
Third act. Right.
That's
Yep.
me. I'm the third act.
Mm-hmm.
So my third act is so lovely because I'm doing what I love,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not looking to hustle and looking for the next, bright star. I'm just happy where I'm at. And, opportunities might come along, and that would be another thing, but I'm not actively seeking them out. And I'm telling you, I used to hustle every day.
Hello and welcome to another editions of RD's Thriving in Private Practice, where we share our collective wisdom about building a nutrition business and get inspired. I'm Catherine Dittman, and joining me today is Emma Fogt.
Catherine, thanks.
Yeah. So Emma is a doctor of education in healthcare and leadership and a registered dietitian specializing in optimizing digestive health through personalized virtual nutrition counseling. At the Biome Kitchen, her mission is to nourish with food, empowering clients to take control of their gut health and feel their best through individualized, evidence-based dietary approaches. Emma leads Beat IBS Bloat, a 6-week low FODMAP program, and teaches gut-friendly dietary strategies and plant-forward cooking to enhance digestive health. With her support, clients gain confidence in their food choices and experience improved digestive health. Emma is also an educational consultant, creating courses for CEUs for RDNs. Her hobbies are travel, oil painting, and yoga. Welcome, Emma. Thanks so much for being here.
I'm so happy to be here, Catherine. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah, great. So we'll start in our usual way, and I'd love to hear a bit about your journey as a dietitian and what led you to this specialty and the population that you serve.
Well, it's a big question because I go back 35 years into the field. So I could divide up the journey into 3 categories, really. 1 is clinical research, 2 is counseling, and then 3 is culinary work. So I know we're focusing on counseling here mostly. I started out in Boston doing research, doing critical care research and obesity research. And then when we moved to Philadelphia with my young family, I didn't work for about 3 or 4 years because I had 2 little kids and I was in a new area, and I refocused to then open up a private practice called Nutrition for Kids, Teens, and Families. And it was perfect because I was in the kid trenches, and then my practice was also in the kid trenches. So that was number 2, was that counseling job. And I was an entrepreneur, so I was very much involved in entrepreneurship. And then number 3 was when I closed the practice in 2013, as my kids were teens, and I felt I needed to be more on their schedule and not on the counseling kids schedule, which everybody knows is after school hours and weekends. I closed that practice and I headed into culinary, but culinary had already been started in the summertime. I was working in kids camps doing culinary programming, and then that morphed into adult culinary work. So that's my journey. I have 3 jobs in 3 decades, and now I'm my 4th.
I'm finding myself feeling pretty impressed that you were able to just, start something, decide it wasn't right for the time of your life at the time, and then start something else and have, your hand in some, variety of different places and really finding out what works for you. I think for a lot of people, myself included, taking those kinds of risks feels really, really scary. Yeah.
It does. I also am fortunate. I feel like I have a unit. I think a lot of women who have partners feel fortunate that we work together as a team. So my unit would cover me I would cover them. Early in the early years, I was making more than my partner. And then as life went on and I took on more kid responsibilities, I think that changed a little bit. So everybody is different. Everybody's different. And I was fortunate with that support. So I have to really admit that without that, it would have been a different ballgame.
Yeah. Good to recognize the things that we have to sort of fight tooth and nail for, but then on the other hand, the ways in which we actually have some good fortune that other people might not. That's awesome. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So the Biome Kitchen is your current thing. Let's hear a little bit about how that got started.
So the Biome Kitchen got started after I was doing the culinary work here in my area, and I was doing corporate culinary team building. I was running all the kids camps for culinary programming with that, kids learning how to cook, and we did celebrity chef series, and was working full time at the Wayne Arts Center. And suddenly, does everybody remember that fateful day in March when the world closed down,
Sure did.
including that day we had set up a huge event for that night, and we shut it down. It was a culinary event saying that we're not sure what COVID is, and we should be a little precautious here. And lo and behold, the next day the art center closed, and it closed for a good 2 years, which is a long time. So during that first 6 months of not being working full time at the Wayne Arts Center, I decided again, okay, I'm going to hit the private practice venue again. And I felt it was going to be a bit different because now we're going to be only virtual. And for me, that was truly delightful. I thought that was wonderful for flexibility, especially having had the kids practice and having to traipse in at all these hours. I mean, I'd be in that office till 10 at night. Just because of the schedules with families. But this new adventure was really very versatile.
Mhm.
And I decided to work to really focus on nutrition and the gut health because it fascinates me. It's a hot topic. And also I can really help a lot of people, obviously, with this seemingly new low FODMAP diet that came out in 2014 around that time. So that was the start of that.
Yeah. So I'm curious about some specific details here. So you have so it's virtual nutrition counseling. Is that mostly one-on-one?
Correct.
Okay. And then you also have the 6-week course. Yeah.
Yes.
And are those the two main services that you offer, or do you have another way that people can work with you?
That's what I focus on. Yes.
Okay. And so do you find when let's talk about maybe your marketing and sales process, are you bringing people in and then deciding, okay, you're a good fit for one-on-one, you're a good fit for the program, or do people start with a program, then go to one-on-one? Or how do you do that?
So the 6-week over time and, testing out the program and seeing where it was going. At this point, I do mostly one-on-one, honestly. And then I will say I have a 6-week IBS program, and it's not a group program. It's one-on-one. And the reason is, and I know from your own work, that when I was doing the groups, I'm so trained. I used to be critically, in critical care. I'm very well trained in medical nutrition therapy. So when people bring up things like medications, and I can also hone in on things like eating disorders that are happening at the same time with the GI issues or other things that are going on. And I know I need to be talking to the physicians and working with the teams. I veered then more away from the group concept because the group concept is more education. And I really love getting into the deep trenches of GI health and really helping them one-on-one. So then I mostly morph the 6 weeks into that. It's a 6-week package because we all know like doing one session is not helpful really for anybody. So it's better to have kind of a package deal.
Okay. So if I'm understanding, you thought maybe you could do this as a group offering, turned out that people were way more complex and needed more individualized care. And
Yes.
so changed that to, okay, well, this is just an individualized program that you would tailor and customize for each individual client. That's great.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
Yeah. Now,
And yeah.
yeah. And is this private pay or is this cash pay, or is it insurance based, your practice?
So it is cash pay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And how did that decision come about for you?
I think for me, the cash pay for me was, easeability. I didn't have to deal with the insurance companies and all of the paperwork with that. Yeah, so that was the basic bottom line for that.
Yeah, yeah. So when you bring people on, you're signing them up for the 6-week sort of tailored program. And
Yes.
then do they have an option to continue with you, or is that kind of it?
Oh, yeah, they totally can continue. Absolutely. Then
Okay.
I'll offer another 6 weeks.
So it's always re-upping the package.
I'm
Okay.
doing the
Got it. Got it. Got it. Yeah. I think it's just so fascinating that we have the ability to create whatever model works for us and our particular clientele, and that sometimes you might not nail it right away, and over time you start to figure out like, okay, this is the method that works the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Can we talk a little bit about your marketing? How do people find you?
So I'm pretty much integrated in the GI world of like the Monash app has been very helpful. I get a lot of people from that because they list dietitians which are under each state.
Mhm.
And because we're licensed in, obviously, and work in our state, unless we have licensure in other states, it's pretty clear where I get my clients from. They're mostly in this area, in the area of Pennsylvania. So that's been super helpful. I do get referrals from GI docs, which is nice. And then word of mouth is also a good thing.
Mhm.
So those are the three marketing ways I get.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting. So you are, I'm assuming, Monash certified.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Any other GI certifications that you found were really important for your current practice?
I work a lot with the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, so I volunteer for them. And I go to their meetings and I do learn a lot through them. But I basically have to say most of my knowledge is by keeping up to date with conferences that are very specific to GI. So there's the I think DDW, which is a very big GI conference each year. I haven't been, but I have been to quite a few microbiome conferences because I was focusing on that. And then I do the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. I just had a poster there this year. So I'll show up for them almost every year. But I think I have more CEUs from all the GI webinars that I've attended. They've been fantastic. I
Yeah.
learned a lot.
Okay.
Just
Great.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think sometimes we think we need so much additional education to do our thing, and and we do need to keep up with new research and evidence, but we may not need some fancy extra certification. The Monash thing is definitely a step apart for sure. And it sounds like you get a lot of good referrals from that, so that's really, really great.
Yeah, I would say if anybody's doing the low FODMAP diet, just get Monash certified. It's
Mhm.
well worth the money for that. It's not
Awesome.
bad. Yeah.
Great tip. It's a great tip. Yeah. So it sounds like you're also really involved with all of these professional organizations.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. And is that part of your doctorate sort of interest? So how does that fit in with all of this?
The professional organizations with my doctorate, the combo.
Yeah. It sounds like you're involved. You're the Doctor of Education and Healthcare and Leadership, and so I'm just wondering if that's
Yeah.
the good match there with you being so involved with these organizations.
Yes. Yes, it is a good match. And the doctorate's very new. I got that in 23, so 2023. So it's a very new endeavor. But I have always been very happy to take on volunteer positions on boards and be chair of boards and things like that at the national level. So the doctorate of education and leadership is just such a wonderful combination of everything that I've done for the 5 years. And that is educate, go out and educate, whether it's in the schools and, parents societies. I used to go and do tons of talks, professional talks, things like that. And then leadership, taking responsibility and taking kind of our profession to a higher level, where we're not just registered dietitians who go and, make food trades for people. It's amazing what people perceive our career as. We're able to run companies, and we're able to take leadership roles on boards, and whether it's volunteer or paid. Our training is so amazing, I have to say. We are pre-med, and we are ready to take leadership roles. And I always say to the younger people, please get on boards. Please go and join, interesting organizations and take part in them and move up the chain. It's such a great skill to have.
Yeah. And I'm really enjoying hearing from somebody that is such an advocate for our profession, given that sometimes, if you have lurked around this group often enough, sometimes there's a lot of just discouragement and bordering on despair, even, of like, why can't we get the recognition? And it sounds like you might have some, maybe not advice, but sort of a response to that, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I do. I'm very passionate about that whole concept. In fact, my thesis for my doctorate was on the knowledge and perception of the role of the dietitian from medical students. What did they think of the role of the dietitian? And what that thesis worked on was giving an educational intervention to see before and after results after they got, taught about what the dietitian does, the value of the dietitian, return on investment, in the whole 9 yards. So yeah, it's right up my alley to be, an advocate for our profession. And I'm sorry, you said, I got a little off tangent there, Catherine.
You're right on tangent. Just a response to some of the people who are feeling really discouraged.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we don't get any respect, and it sounds like you've got a response to that, right?
Yep. I think it comes from, if you're feeling you don't have respect, then go get it. We have to show up. We have to show what we know. We have to be part of the team, or the interdisciplinary team. And I think the biggest default is that nobody knows what we do. So we have to let them, or show them, or make them know. I love when the saying is like, make sure people know, like, how they feel. So you make them feel that you're competent. You make them feel that you know your stuff. You don't have to spout off facts and, references every 2 seconds, but, you want to be clear on what you do and how you can contribute to the team.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The messaging.
Yeah.
The messaging is super, super important. Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so that was a nice little diversion here, but I want to get back to hearing a little bit more about your business. Again, some more nuts and bolts kinds of things. Do you have a preferred EMR? Do you use any support materials to host your course? So, like, what kind of technology are you using in order to deliver the experience for your clients?
So I keep my technology pretty simple. I use Better Practice, or Practice Better.
Mm-hmm.
I like their platform a lot. It's easy to share notes. It's easy to share messaging. It's easy to schedule and bill. It's all in one platform, and that keeps my life super simple. I actually do keep a backup of that, believe it or not, because I know enough that if I ever lose that platform, I'll have a backup, in my files. So I do that. It's just an extra bit of effort. Like, I'll copy and paste the reports and put them in another file. So I have that. As far as educational handouts and things like that, I definitely share screens. I email or share through Practice Better. I share collateral and materials, or later, kind of the latest articles that they may be interested in. and the beauty about virtual is I'll have clients literally show me what supplements they're eating. I'm like, show me
Mhm.
the container and what is it that you're having. And so that's been a real plus as part of the education. We can really see what they're saying. So yeah, I use only virtual, and I only use technology.
Okay,
To
great, great. Yeah, what you're saying resonates about having someone actually in their own home because, I've had clients take me into their kitchen and show me like what's in your refrigerator right now, and let's see what tools you have, right? To get into the culinary part. So how does your culinary interest play a part in your practice these days?
Right now, I only use my culinary for Instagram, when I'm teaching about low FODMAP recipes, which
Mhm.
is really fun to do. Because if I'm going to make dinner, I'll make it low FODMAP, or tweak it so it is low FODMAP, and then film it. So that's really fun to do. So I use it for marketing. Uh,
Mhm.
I also am very interested in the whole concept of culinary medicine, which is the whole world of nutrition and medicine.
Mhm.
Um, and the thesis that we were talking about, the medical students that I was working in were in a culinary medicine group.
Oh, wow.
So that was really kind of cool to see that. Um, so I find that fascinating, the whole culinary medicine.
Yeah, yeah, and so you sort of had already a captive, interested audience for
A
yeah.
little skewed. It was bias.
Mhm. That's great, that's great. Um, and, I think no, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, yes, so with Instagram, is that your main channel of just having, like, visibility where people can sort of get to know you and see what you're about?
Yeah, I use Instagram. I don't have that many followers. I'm not that big an influencer at all. Um, so yeah, I use it for marketing, but does it pull in marketing people? Not that much for me. I mean, clients. I didn't mean to
Yeah.
say marketing people. Clients. I don't really get a lot of clients from there.
Mhm.
I use it. I use it as a check. Like I've got that backup. That's what I do. This is who I am. If you want to check out more about me, I'll be on Instagram. But I don't do a lot of it. I know a lot of people do live Instagram and interview people and whatnot online, but my focus is really honestly one-on-one with that patient. I'm so into what they're doing and where they're at. Once I have them, that's where I focus most.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. Um, for just a clarification for our viewers, we can use these channels as, like Emma was saying, just for visibility. And so people can kind of get to know and see who I am. It may not actually generate new leads. That may not be the reason why someone reaches out to you, but it's a way that they can get to know you when they're trying to decide if you're the right person for them. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Like on my IG, I am very honed in on plant forward culinary work. So if people don't like fruits and veggies, they're probably not going to be loving my,
Mhm.
IG.
When
'Cause
you're helping somebody, work on their, culinary skills, let's say, do you have, like, your own, library of recipes, or are you finding recipes created by other people?
Okay, that's such a good question because I I will do seasonal posts. So let's say I'm in the supermarket and I see that eggplants are on sale. I'll be like, okay, we're going to do an eggplant thing because I'm going to buy it. I'm going to look in my fridge. So I'm one of these people who works backwards. I look at what the ingredients are that I have because I cook enough that I have usually enough of items that I don't have to go buy one by one, but I'll create from the items that I have. So if I have eggplant, I'll look and say, okay, what does eggplant go with? And it might go with tomatoes of some sort, or it might be basil I might put in there, or I'll think of something like, well, ricotta cheese or something like that wouldn't be so low FODMAP, but I would make something like even an eggplant lasagna based on that eggplant. So I always think of what's the base, and then I work out from there.
Okay. So just sort of some seasonal inspiration, and then like creating maybe a cooking lesson based on that seasonal inspiration. Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Nice. Great. So I am also very curious about your other job, skill, whatever, being an educational consultant, creating courses for CEUs for RDNs. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do, how that works, and maybe would people even want to contact you if they needed help with that?
Sure. Be happy to hear from anybody about that. So this is something that probably started in around also 2021, so about 4 or 5 years ago, where I have been working on the national level with the Academy. So I know a lot of people in different roles, and somebody who is on my board said, hey, we need somebody to help edit some educational courses. And I said, oh, great. I would love to do that. Please sign me up. And so I ended up editing courses from 21 to 20, like maybe 6 months ago. I was like a course editor. So I would get the course and then all of the quiz answers and questions, and I would edit those. So I did that for about 20 courses. And then the same company asked me, because one of the writers was leaving, a writer of the course was leaving, and they asked me if I would take that position. So I think we were talking a little bit about, nothing happens overnight. Mm-hmm. So, I'm working as an editor for 3 years, and then an opportunity comes along. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that opportunity I took, I said, yes, of course, I would love to do that for you. So in the middle of editing, it's called course creation, and item writing is actually the official name for it. So you create a course from, it could be a book or another course that doesn't have CEUs attached to it, and then create the questions that go with the course. And then it goes through the Academy to get approved for, CEUs.
Mm-hmm. So my understanding is that this is sort of a new rule change from the Academy, that you need to have somebody specific writing the questions and helping with the course creation and all of that. And so your role now is essential for anybody that wants to create any kind of educational material for our colleagues. And have people be able to get CEUs. So that's really, really great to know somebody personally who does that for any of us that are interested. And so how would somebody reach out to you if they were interested in this in particular?
Oh, they could just email me at my personal email. It's emmafogt@gmail.com.
Okay.
So happy to, answer any questions. The company that I work for is a team. So there's probably 7 of us on the team. And I just happen to be one of the writers.
Okay. Do you mind sharing the name of the company?
So Becky Dorner and Associates.
Oh, Becky Dorner. Okay, I've heard of that. Yeah. Great. That's awesome. Yeah. So you've got the Biome Kitchen, individualized nutrition care for people, and you've got the CEU and course creation. Any other things that you're dabbling in right now, or have sort of on the interest list coming up?
On the back burner? At my age, we call it the third career. What is it called? The third something? I'll think of it. So I'm at the stage where I am not ramping up. I'm ramping down, and I'm doing things more that I want to do, and I like to do. And I don't have to hustle as much as I used to. And I don't have kids that I have to run after and do a million things for. So, life is a little different. Oh, it's called the third act.
Third act. Right.
That's me. I'm the third act. Mm-hmm. So my third act is so lovely because I'm doing what I love.
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not looking to hustle and looking for the next, bright star. I'm just happy where I'm at. And, opportunities might come along, and that would be another thing, but I'm not actively seeking them out. And I'm telling you, I used to hustle every day. Every day. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to get 5 clients today. Then I'm going to give a talk. Then I'm going to blah, blah, blah. Then, and then I'll market. Then I'll do my notes and I'll do my, and I don't think I really stopped. And at one point I really felt burnt out and had to slow down a bit. So I'm happy to say in my third act, it's a little more chill.
Awesome. Yeah. So all you people, younger people hustling out there, bless you for doing that. But this is what you get to look forward to when you get to be our age, is slowing down and doing the things that you love more. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And I really believe in making impacts, and if what we're doing is meaningful to us and hits our value systems, I think we're in the right lane.
Yeah. My goodness. Well, Emma, this has been such a pleasure hearing about how you have constructed your own, dietitian career and all of the transitions and changes. And, this is really interesting and nice to hear. So appreciate your positive outlook and advocacy for our profession. And I want to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to meet you. And I know you do such amazing work with eating disorders and substance abuse. Oh my gosh, Catherine, that's a real specialty.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Sometimes I feel like an unsung hero in certain ways, and sometimes it's just such hard work. So I do appreciate that acknowledgement. Yeah.
It really is. But keep up the good work.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody who joined us live or is watching the replay. And there are plenty more to come through the end of the year. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.